Good afternoon, I'm Ray Collins. Our top story, Hurricane Maria. It made landfall in Puerto Rico this morning as a Category 4 storm. The last time a storm that strong hit Puerto Rico was back in 1932. Elizabeth Herr has the latest.
Hurricane Maria striking Puerto Rico head-on with winds topping 150 miles an hour.
7:15 in the morning, and just when you think we've experienced the fury, the top peak of Hurricane Maria, stronger winds, greater gusts.
WABC reporter Joe Torres is in the storm zone, and this group on vacation on a group honeymoon, hunkering down in their hotel room.
Be prepared. We have supplies.
Millions in the storm's path, boarding up and now seeking shelter in one of 500 shelters, while others scrambled to fly out of the island last night before the airport shut down.
We're going to Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, so we can get out of the storm.
We hope.
I live on St. John, and we were there for Irma when Irma came through, and she just basically devastated the island. We didn't want to stay for Maria.
Overnight, Maria also wreaking havoc on the Virgin Islands.
Can't really see it, but you can hear it.
John Rose and friends riding out the storm as St. Croix took a pounding.
We moved into our second room. Our first room started having a lot of water come in. And
it's very scary.
And this morning, officials reporting widespread power outages and flooding across the Caribbean, battered by Maria. And with Hurricane Maria still on the move, authorities in Puerto Rico say it is too soon to talk about the full extent of the damage there, but they expect 100% of the island to be without power at some point. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
Meantime, many Suncoast residents with ties to Puerto Rico are watching the storm very closely. Some people in the Puerto Rican community have a strong connection to their homeland, with plenty of family and friends in the direct path of Maria. Hurricane Irma was devastating, with folks there very fearful then, and they think Maria could be a lot worse.
The most that we can do here for them is pray. We've been praying, hard and long for them, and we know that they'll get through this.
With Irma, they lost between 50 to 70% of their crops, and right now we have a situation where the land is going to be buried.
For the latest on Maria and all the storms, go to our Facebook page or log on to our website at mysuncoast.com. Meantime, Jose has weakened to a tropical storm, and as it stirs up dangerous surf and rip currents along the New Jersey shores, the storm will likely not make landfall, but the rough surf and rip currents will continue along the east coast of the U.S. for several days. Jose's center is about 195 miles south of Nantucket and is expected to pass well east of New Jersey's coast today. Meantime, back on the Suncoast, some nice conditions here.
Yeah, I can't complain. I mean, my goodness, we're very, very lucky and fortunate today to enjoy some sunny skies and maybe a shower or two a little bit later on, but certainly nothing like what they're undergoing in the Caribbean.
Not at all.
We have across our region, as the Van Wezel webcam put into motion shows, start the day off with some blue sky. And now a few fair weather clouds building from time to time. We have a little bit more moisture in the air to work with today, so our rain chances just a little bit higher than they were yesterday, but not significantly so, still drier than average. Taking a look at the satellite view, and you really don't see a whole lot, a few fair weather clouds building, but that's it. Rainfall is still not happening across the Suncoast at this hour, but watch over the course of the next few hours. I think we'll see a pop or two of rain start to develop, especially in inland areas and then more near the coastline. And still, they'll be few and far between, and the total rainfall amount not all that great. We only look for about a 20% chance of storms today. That's about it. And I say storms, more like drizzle or patches of rain. I don't think we have much of a thunderstorm chance, although we may see an isolated thunderstorm, especially in inland areas. But other than that, pretty quiet conditions here on the Suncoast. We'll have the weekend weather forecast for you coming up in just a few. Back to you, Ray.
Thank you, John. New developments now about a Hollywood, Florida nursing home. A 9th person has now died after the facility lost power during the storm last week. It's unclear what caused the patient's death, but the facility lost air conditioning after Hurricane Irma knocked out power. Patients were kept in hallways during the outage, with the staff using portable AC units to cool them down. Florida's Agency for Healthcare Administration told CNN at no time did the facility report the conditions had become dangerous or that the health and safety of patients were at risk. 3 agencies have launched investigations, including a criminal probe. Back in this area, local city and county and state officials met this morning to talk about Irma and other issues facing the Suncoast. Some of the concerns at the top of the list include transportation and how local government agencies could have improved the response to Irma, and how to best help citizens suffering from the storm's economic impact.
There needs to be regulation to ensure that hospitals and assisted living facilities and nursing homes have generators in place, that our shelters have generators, and also that there's some recovery package outside of FEMA that helps local businesses who've lost revenue for the past 10 days and are having trouble now paying their employees who, on top of suffering loss at home, have lost food, don't have paychecks. So we've got to figure out a way to provide some assistance.
Meantime, Florida Governor Scott has put together a committee dedicated to addressing those issues. Still to come, one celebrity is calling out the newly proposed health care bill. We'll explain. And an Ohio city is filing suit over the opioid crisis. We'll tell you who the target is coming up.
And tracking this very dangerous storm, Hurricane Irma.
If you've been ordered to evacuate, please go.
We are double teaming it in the Weather Center.
You got to make sure that there's no trees around that could fall on you in the safe room.
Of course, we still are impacted.
People are calling in with all kinds of questions and concerns.
The city of Venice is without water.
The power has gone out there.
Hoping you've got a battery-powered radio.
I'm not sure if anyone's shift really ends.
Seeing the community come together and help each other.
You know, we are all in this together here.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, ANDservices.com.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna-Be Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabeinn.com.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, ANDservices.com.
Now your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
87 degrees the air temperature. We have a dew point of 73 and a lot of sunshine out there mixed with a few fair weather clouds. So far, not a lot in the way of any kind of rainfall, but like yesterday, I think we'll see a few showers pop up as we head into the afternoon hours. East-northeast wind continues, that northerly component to the wind, kind of drawing down some drier air. 87, Wauchula, Arcadia, Myakka, Parrish, Bradenton, Sarasota, Northport. 86 degrees in Venice, 88 in Punta Gorda, 86 degrees in Boca Grande. Kind of uniform temperatures from inland to coast because the winds are coming at us from the east as opposed to coming in off Gulf waters, which would tend to cool off the coastline. Not much in the way of rainfall. We did have a few scattered showers this morning over on the other coast. No pops of lightning, but certainly there are some showers about. We have a frontal boundary that's kind of draped across the south central part of the state of Florida. That old trough is kind of just hanging there. Shouldn't say frontal boundary. It's a trough of low pressure is what it is. And it separates actually the drier air from the moist air, and it's helping to create a kind of coming together of winds in such a way that we get an instability in the atmosphere that allows for these showers to build. A few of them have been fairly decent showers over on the other coast. But the thing is that as they move over land and they get robbed of that nice Atlantic moisture supply, well, then they kind of just fizzle out. But there is enough moisture in the air that with enough heating, we can get a few of them going locally. And that's what we'll see today, about a 20% chance of seeing a few of these grow locally. And those will be light showers for the most part, measured by rainfall in the tenths of an inch or hundredths of an inch. Nothing really significant. It's in the northeast where we continue to watch Jose. Most of the country looks quiet today, but Jose still spinning around very slowly. A tropical storm now, strong tropical storm, but on the decline as a trough of low pressure approaches it. This thing is going to get sheared apart most likely. As far as thunderstorms go today, well, there is a chance at seeing some thunderstorm activity, but you got to go back to Minneapolis, St. Paul, or to Minneapolis or into Chicago, or back toward Kansas City. Then you might see a few scattered showers around, but otherwise are thunderstorms. But for us, garden variety thunderstorms, they're possible, but mostly in the southern tip and over on the east coast. That's where we'd have the best chance of seeing that. I don't think we'll see a whole lot in our neck of the woods. So we watch Jose continuing to spin around, gradually kind of doing a loop-de-loop around here and eventually decaying away. High pressure back to our west, providing us with that easterly wind flow around its underbelly. And then to the north, a trough of low pressure sinking southward, really not getting close to us. No refreshing cool air coming our way for the first day of fall, which occurs on Friday, by the way. This trough of low pressure, this line of meandering showers that moves from Atlantic to Gulf waters, eventually kind of washes away, and that probably starts to happen as we head into the next couple of days. Warm afternoon today, isolated showers, sun, then a few building afternoon clouds, and we'll watch those showers begin to build. Then we'll watch that trough kind of start to lift out and its impact on Florida become less. That probably happens tomorrow. And then on the weekend, we start to really see the rain showers come back. 3 systems, one with a 60% chance of developing. That was Lee. Then we have Maria. Then we have Jose. In the next half hour, I'll give you complete details on Maria, including a close-up satellite view that is just phenomenal. That coming up in the next half hour. Right now, northeast wind at about 10 knots for you boaters, light chop, and the extended range forecast shows some pretty nice weather over the next couple of days, followed by an increase in rain shower chances. Back to you, Ray.
Thank you, John. Time for Health Smart. If the Senate wants to end Obamacare, the deadline is now next week. But what does the latest plan mean for Medicaid recipients or those with pre-existing conditions? ABC's Mary Bruce has some answers.
Tonight, the mad dash to deliver.
Mr. Vice President, you finally going to get health reform done?
Making progress. The Vice President arriving at the Capitol to rally Republicans. His message, now is the time. Just 6 working days left for Republicans to overhaul Obamacare with a simple majority vote. The White House tonight is fully on board. The president's working the phones. The new GOP plan ends Obamacare subsidies and the Medicaid expansion. Instead, states will get some money to use as they see fit.
Here's the choice for America: socialism or federalism when it comes to your health care.
But states could allow insurers to charge more to people with some pre-existing conditions and stop covering certain essential health benefits like prescription drugs or maternity care. Republicans can afford to lose just 2 votes. Senator Rand Paul is already a no, and tonight more are wavering.
We do need to reform the Affordable Care Act, but we need to do so in a bipartisan, careful way, making sure we understand the consequences.
Meantime, talk show host Jimmy Kimmel is slamming Senator Bill Cassidy for proposing new health care legislation that fails the Jimmy Kimmel test. Cassidy appeared on Kimmel's show earlier this year after Kimmel made an emotional plea for health care legislation that would ensure affordable health care coverage for all in the wake of Kimmel's newborn son needing life-saving heart surgery. And Kimmel is not happy with the new plan proposed by Senator Cassidy.
But when he was on this publicity tour, he listed his demands for a health care bill very clearly. These were his words. He said he wants coverage for all, no discrimination based on pre-existing conditions, lower premiums for middle-class families, and no lifetime caps.
Now, the proposed plan would give states the option to obtain waivers that would allow them to charge people with pre-existing conditions more. Now, Cassidy is defending his proposed health care bill. Listen.
I'm sorry he does not understand. Under Graham, Cassidy, Heller, Johnson, more people will have coverage, and we protect those with pre-existing conditions. States like Maine, Virginia, Florida, Missouri, there'll be billions more dollars to provide health insurance coverage for those in those states who have been passed by Obamacare, and we protect those with pre-existing conditions.
Now, Cassidy did not directly address Kimmel's monologue, but repeated his commitment to the latest proposed health care legislation. A city in Ohio is suing drug companies over the opioid crisis. They say emergency responses are costing the city more than $1 million in expenses, and they say drug companies are at least partly to blame. Joe Paganakis reports.
Well, the city of Elyria says its fire department lost more than $800,000 last year alone responding to opiate overdoses, and its lawsuit against the drug companies to be filed later this year will try to recoup some of those losses.
We could see the exponential negative effects of the opioid epidemic.
Elyria Mayor Holly Brenda says safety force response to heroin overdoses have nearly tripled over the past 18 months, likely costing her city more than $1 million in unanticipated expenses in 2016 alone.
We had 2,230 emergency medical responses, and a large part of those were responses to drug abuse.
The Elyria lawsuit, similar to the one filed by the city of Lorain in June, would seek damages against the major drug companies. Companies Mayor Brenda believes inappropriately promoted the use of opiates, underselling their addictive qualities.
It largely does go back, at least in part, to the drug companies.
These doctors have stopped overprescribing.
Nancy Krashenko agrees the drug companies need to be held accountable. Krashenko, who lost her 30-year-old daughter Megan Wheeler to a heroin overdose in 2015, believes the drug companies need to compensate cities, especially here in Ohio.
If I would have knew this was going to be the end of my daughter's life by taking those Vicodins, I would have grabbed her from her and said, no, we're going to go another route.
We're the ones out there seeing it every day.
Life Care, which provides EMS services to Elyria, has seen its number of emergency runs triple in the last 2 years. It understands why cities are seeking damages.
I don't think it's surprising. They're looking at ways they can help themselves.
This unintentional consequence is literally costing lives every day.
And in fact, safety officials confirm Lorain County is on pace for more than 250 fatal heroin overdoses this year alone. Elyria and other cities are hoping their lawsuits will get the drug companies to change their marketing approach when it comes to opiates.
Certainly similar expenses here on the Suncoast. All right, time for lunch. Here's Chef Judy and Chef Paulo from Gabbiano's. Folks.
Hi, we're excited. We're promoting a very special cause today. It's going to happen a week from Thursday on September 28th. Several local restaurants are partnering up with the Designing Daughters of Sarasota, and that's designingdaughtersarasota.com to get more information. And funds for dining out that evening are going to go to many charitable contributions. So, Chef, I know Cafe Gabbiano is one of the participants. What are you preparing today?
Yes, today we will prepare veal saltimbocca alla romana. Very traditional dish.
And it's one of my favorites, and I have to say, I love the way you prepare it. Along with a glass of prisoner wine, it's going to be perfect. So stay with us throughout the hour. We're going to cook up a storm, and we're going to let you know exactly. You can gather your friends, go to one of these restaurants, and help with so many valuable charities. So come right back, and we'll start cooking veal saltimbocca, one of my favorites.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah, yeah.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
So many possibilities worth exploring.
Looking for carpet? Look no further. Minnesota Flooring has Smart Strand carpet as low as $1.79 per square foot. Installed, no add-ons or extras. Unbelievable? Minnesota Flooring can have in-stock carpet installed in your home in 48 hours for as low as $1.99 per square foot. Don't miss these prices. Visit Minnesota Flooring today.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251. 800-628-1251.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Was told their daughter was fatally shot. They later found out the girl was never in danger and was very much alive. Caroline Flynn has this story.
When a dad hears his daughter is in danger, he'll do anything to find her.
How do I get from Cheney to Freeman in 3 seconds?
As Steve Stewart drove, his wife frantically texted everyone she could think of to find out if their daughter, a freshman at Freeman High School, was safe. On the hour-long agonizing drive, she phoned with some good news.
At this point, the only thing I had heard was that my daughter was okay.
Then another call. This time his wife could barely speak. She'd received a text from a friend saying their daughter was not breathing and had died.
I immediately went to paramedics telling them my daughter's in respiratory distress. Have you received any information about this?
In the longest 30 minutes of Steve Stewart's life, he talked to first responders, police officers, and school nurses, all of whom knew nothing.
I then went back started going back up towards the high school to see if I could find out for some more information. And as I glanced over at the football field, I saw her.
An indescribable feeling of relief, which begged the question, why would that friend text such a horrible lie? Turns out that friend got a new number, and whoever had that old one just played the cruelest prank during their darkest hours.
I don't know what type of thinking goes into a person who would do something like that.
The Stewarts have contacted the sheriff, but since being malicious is not against the law, nothing can be done. Steve Stewart is sharing his story because he wants people to know tragedy does not deter the cold-hearted.
You can have your purse stolen. You can be told this horrible information from somebody who is miles away from it.
Awful story there. Amazon has a glitch that's telling customers a package is on the way they didn't order or sending a link to a baby registry they didn't create. A glitch in the company's system left a large number of customers confused. The message included a link which for some redirected them to a page to set up a registry. Others were taken to a broken link. Amazon has yet to comment, but when one recipient called customer service, the company acknowledged that the emails went out and described it as a, quote, technical issue. When it comes to holiday staffing, Walmart and Target are taking different approaches this year. Walmart does not plan to hire extra workers. They'll instead give existing employees more hours. Target, by contrast, plans to hire 100,000 temporary holiday workers. Walmart's decision could be part of the company's effort to make jobs there more attractive and cut down on turnover. The company says they used the same holiday labor strategy last year and saw wide approval from customers and employees as well. United Airlines says seats on its farewell flight on a double-decker plane Queen of the Skies sold out in less than 2 hours. But the carrier did not sell seats on the plane's upper deck so that the flyers would be able to move through the space, what will be its last ever passenger flight for this plane. The flight will fly from San Francisco to Honolulu. After that, the 747 will be retired from its United flight. All right, lunch is taking off right now. Back to the kitchen with chefs Judy and Paulo. Guys?
Okay, Paulo, let's get started on this veal saltimbocca, one of the items you'll be cooking next Thursday as we dine for a difference.
Okay, what we did here, we have some veal scaloppini, which we can get from veal legs or veal top round.
Okay.
And we will just lightly pound it.
Great way to get out your frustration. Pound the veal, pound the chicken. That's the way to do it.
And then what we will do, we will just lightly seasoning with some salt and pepper, but just a little bit salt because the prosciutto that we will add will be already some salt. So
Excellent point. We don't want to over-salt the dish.
Yeah.
And using the fresh ground salt and pepper, it is, I get so upset when I go to a restaurant and they have the old shakers.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to use the fresh ground.
Right, it's a better taste and freshness.
Absolutely.
So what I did, I just add the 2 leaves of sage.
Okay.
And then I will add some prosciutto.
I love it. A good quality prosciutto is going to really make this dish bright.
And we're just going to top it, and we will just press with the hand to let it stick together.
Perfect. 2 slices, just like 2 pieces
2 slices,
of sage.
yeah, to cover, the veal.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we want to do, we're just gonna dust with some flour, lightly dust.
Do you season your flour ahead of time with salt and pepper?
Yes, salt and pepper, yeah, it's already seasoned. And what we're gonna do, we just want to coat with some of the flour. No overpower, because the veal, we want to stay as the flavor, light flavor of the veal. We don't want to overpower.
Exactly. So this is something, and notice the prep. These are things you can do at home. Often the night before I'm going to cook something like this, I'll go ahead and clean off my sage leaves, pound out the veal and keep it wrapped, organize the prosciutto.
Yeah, and then another tips that you want to do, like if you want to prepare that in advance, you can chill in the fridge. It will help to stay together before the cooking process.
I love that.
That's a little tips that we can.
Are you going to cook with olive oil or vegetable oil or a combination? Okay,
olive oil.
Good.
So we're going to reheat the pan on medium high.
Few tablespoons of a good quality olive oil.
Yeah. And we're going to go face down with prosciutto.
Okay. Good to know. Prosciutto will give it a little crispness if you're going face down.
Yeah.
Now again, while this is starting to saute, because I know we're going to come back and finish it up with sauce and all, I want to remind everybody, this is such a great event. The restaurants are going to give back 15% to Designing Daughters. It's an annual event, and I know Gabbiano has participated before.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure, to join this program and help the community, to stay along.
Absolutely. And all you got to do is call and make a reservation. And I get a group of 10 or 20 people that are going to come in and do it. So let's let this saute. We'll go to break, and when we come back, we'll finish up this great dish and tell you more about the event next Thursday.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere. everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Why settle for less? Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru is the best overall brand for 2 years running and the most trusted brand for 3 years running, according to Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com. Right now, you can lease one of Subaru's most versatile vehicles, the Subaru Crosstrek, for as little as $199 a month, or get 2.9% financing with complimentary maintenance included. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. At this hour, rescue workers are trying to find survivors after a major earthquake in Mexico. As ABC's Lana Zach tells us, the quake has killed over 225 people.
We just lost the building.
At the site where a school once stood in Mexico City, rescue workers listen for the sounds of life. The bodies of at least 21 children and 4 teachers have been recovered after an entire wing of an elementary school collapsed. President Enrique Peña Nieto visited the school overnight. This was our school, these were our children, this woman tells the president. Rescue workers still searching for 30 children and 8 adults missing amid the rubble. The epicenter of that massive quake striking about 75 miles southeast of Mexico City. Entire buildings flattened in a cloud of dust. In Mexico City alone, the mayor said at least 44 buildings collapsed. One reporter said the high-rise buildings in the capital city swayed sickeningly. All throughout central Mexico, destruction, horror, as debris crushed vehicles, windows slipped down buildings like sheets of ice.
I still don't feel safe. I feel like I'm living in an aftershock constantly.
And now, instead of the alarms and screams of yesterday, an eerie quiet as rescue workers and communities listen for voices, praying for miracles.
And adding to the tragedy, this earthquake taking place on the anniversary of Mexico's deadliest earthquake. That one taking place in 1985 killed thousands. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
Well, in the wake of Hurricane Irma, this is your last day to drive for free on Florida's toll roads. The state will resume collecting money after midnight tonight. Governor Scott suspended tolls in the days before Irma to allow for easier evacuations. The only tolls that will still be suspended around the state are in Homestead on the Florida Turnpike to allow storm victims in the Florida Keys to come and go more easily. I guess that's the least we can do for them right now. Oh, my goodness, yes. All right, first alert forecast for this Wednesday, John.
Nice, I think. Yeah, you know, we've got another day or two of less than average rain chances and sunny skies. It's a nice, pleasant change from what would normally be the continuation of our rainy season till the end of the month, and, you know, a little break.
And then as the rowing championship starts on Saturday, more rain in the forecast.
Yeah, it looks that way. It does look that way. We'll look at that forecast coming up in just a few. Lakewood Ranch webcam put it into motion shows some very clear skies to start the day, followed by a little bit of afternoon cloudiness. That cloud is not producing any rainfall yet, but like yesterday, I think one or two of those showers will build from a couple of the clouds that are out there currently. We'll have a daytime high that tops out around 90, and we'll have a fairly quiet satellite view right now, showing just a few fair weather clouds around. As we head into the afternoon, we'll see some of those showers building inland and gradually drifting to the coast. The day planner calls for those daytime highs near 90 and then about a 20% chance of a late day shower. Mix of sun and clouds for the next several days, but then some changes coming up for the weekend. Ray will be talking about all that coming up in a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Twitter doing its part to fight terrorism. The social media company has suspended about 300,000 accounts found to promote terrorism, and almost 1 million since the year 2015, when the company first began to have efforts to combat violent extremism online. Strange story here. A lesbian woman who is divorcing her husband sued for equal parental rights under the Constitution, even though state law doesn't recognize those rights. This story gets more complicated. At issue is artificial insemination. In the end, the Arizona Supreme Court ruled that gays get equal parental rights. Robots are joining the fight against crime. A Silicon Valley company is unveiling 2 new robots that could help detect weapons at airports and offices. David Louie shows us how it works.
A crime-fighting robot can be the cutest thing you've ever seen, or something to fear if you're a bad guy.
And so if you put a 5-foot-tall, 3-foot-wide, 400-pound machine there and no one knows actually what it does, that's going to deter a lot of negative behavior.
These robots are becoming more sophisticated. Nightscope took the wraps off 2 new models, the K1, which stands stationary at airports and offices, and the K7, a multi-terrain vehicle that moves like a crab and can cover large areas, such as oil fields. The technology inside the K1 can detect concealed weapons.
So we're throwing different waves and looking at any disturbances in those waves, and then using machine learning to realize that that might be an object that's not normal for someone to be carrying.
A 6'5" police officer can be very intimidating, but by comparison, this model K1 is only about, 5'6", about my height. It's not very intimidating, yet its mission is extremely critical, especially when it comes to saving lives. Now this is intimidating. Gort the robot in the 1951 sci-fi classic, The Day the Earth Stood Still. It took its assignment seriously to get the citizens of the world to embrace peace. Those who are peaceable have no reason to fear as these robots are deployed next year, but they might have to learn how to coexist with humans, such as the toddler who got injured in a robot encounter last year at a mall.
And we're going to have new environments and new things to think through, and that's why we iterate through our technology and do so in the wild, in the real world.
All right, back to the kitchen now. Here's Chef Judy. Take it away.
All right, so the veal saltimbocca, the first stage where the prosciutto is sauteed. Now what are we going to do?
Well, here we have some olive oil and garlic. We just roast a little bit of garlic, and we add some spinach to serve the veal with.
Perfect.
So we want to just lightly pan-sear the spinach. And then here we're going to go and finish the sauce. We're going to add some Marsala wine.
Oh, yes,
we let that evaporated a little bit. And then we're just going to add some chicken stock, just a little touch, nothing, not much.
What I love about your restaurant, again, it's homemade chicken stock. Homemade,
Yes.
your sauce is homemade, you have your own wines. I think it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Then we're going to go add some salt and pepper to the spinach. We're going to season a little bit. And then we're going to add a little bit of butter just to make the sauce a little bit creamier
Finish off
and
the
rich.
sauce,
Yeah.
good. And while you're doing that, do you mind if I toss your
yeah.
spinach for you a
Yeah.
little bit? Give that some balance. Now, obviously, people can use chicken or turkey tenderloin if they prefer not to use
as they
veal.
prefer, yes. They can use any other. So we want to reach up a little bit the sauce, make the sauce thicker. And we let it
Beautiful.
go another 30 seconds, about that.
And the flour that it was dipped in is thickening.
Leftover, we'll let to make the sauce thicker and nice and rich.
So this is basically a pretty simple dish, but it's the ingredients that really make it, that all come together. And I want to remind everybody that you're going to see it on our website. There it is, Dining with a Difference. It's for Designing Daughters Sarasota, and that's designingdaughtersarasota.com, so you can find out more information. Call Cafe Gabbiano on Siesta Key. I'm so glad you guys did well in the storm. We were worried about all our friends and our business owners, and what a better way to support the local restaurants. You can go online and find out which restaurants, because you know they were out of business for several days. So now you can help them and help great charitable causes with Designing Daughters. Can I pass you this plate?
Yeah, we are ready to be plating here.
Okay.
So we have 2 nice pieces of veal. And the sauce is nice and thick.
I think Scalzi's going to want me to share this with him.
Yeah, and then we're going to add some spinach.
And I love that I can have this without pasta, because as much as I love pasta, I need to be healthier.
Can be a light dinner, as you guys prefer.
Perfect.
And we go over with some spinach.
Okay. I love it. Oh, do we need anything else, or can I officially?
We can add some balsamic reduction. To intensify the flavor.
And it really does intensify. So look at that. That is just beautiful. We're going to come back in a minute, take a taste, talk about our website and how you can find the recipe and so much more. Chef, you did it again. Cafe Gabbiano. We'll be right back.
All right, up next, Ivanka Trump talks about a type of depression she's had, not once, but 3 times. That story's on the way.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna Be Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabeinn.com.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
87-degree air temperature, mix of sun and clouds out there. No rain falling currently, but there will be a little bit later on today. 73-degree dew point. Feels pretty comfortable. Lower dew point than we had yesterday. And it's kind of refreshing for this time of year to get dew points in the low 70s. Won't be long before we get those dew points that'll be in the 60s, and that'll be really nice. 88 in Wauchula, Arcadia, Myakka, Parrish coming in at 87. Bradenton, there you've got 88 degrees. It's 87 in Sarasota, 88 in Venice, 85 Boca Grande, in Northport. You've got 88 degrees as well. Across the peninsula right now, everything is very quiet. We had some showers yesterday closer to the coast. Fort Myers got some pretty good rains. Trough of low pressure kind of rides along south central Florida, and we've got some showers in progress over on the other coast. But locally, everything's pretty quiet so far, but that will be changing as we head into the 3, 4, 5 o'clock hours. Big ridge of high pressure still directing our wind flow out of the northeast. Jose, a tropical storm, still spinning around off the New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Connecticut coastlines. And then a trough of low pressure kind of meandering back toward the Midwest. That trough really not moving a whole lot. It's certainly not going to bring us any refreshing blasts of cool air. It's not quite time for that yet. But it will help steer the hurricane, or the tropical storm now, out into Atlantic waters where it dies its death as it gets incorporated by those shearing winds from that trough. We have a little kind of trough, a little weak trough that sits over the state of Florida right now. A little to the north of it, got some dry air. To the south of it, it's the moist air. And of course, we'll be watching very carefully as this area of the world gets filled with Maria over the course of the next couple of days. Warm afternoon, isolated showers, sun, then some clouds, and an isolated rainfall. I think we'll start to dry out a little bit, perhaps on Saturday or Sunday, because Maria will get close to us. There's Jose. There's a system which was Lee. Remember Lee? Lee was around for a very brief period of time. Well, its remnants is still here, and it looks like it will redevelop out in the open waters of the Atlantic, bothering no one. Maria, a Category 4 storm, moved right over, as we know, Puerto Rico, now on a forecast track that takes it, hopefully, to be a fish storm out in the open waters of the Atlantic. Get pretty close, though, to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, probably creating some fairly rough surf for them as it swings back out, hopefully. Of course, all eyes in the mid-Atlantic and northeastern coastline will be watching this one very carefully as it lifts north. And then, of course, we have Jose, which is just going to flop around out here until it eventually just dies away. Take a look at this satellite imagery. This is Maria as it moved over parts of Puerto Rico. Now, I showed this to you because all the forecast models are now in pretty good agreement that it moves north and then back out into open waters of the Atlantic. But it gets pretty close to the northeast, close enough that there's still some uncertainty there. And of course, they'll be watching that very carefully. No models take it over Florida at this time, but just that one extrapolation, and that doesn't really count. Look at the eye of this storm, getting very close to St. Croix, but missing it, then hitting the southeastern coast of Puerto Rico and moving very close to San Juan as it exits the island. Just a tremendously powerful storm. There's some tweets going out of residents there showing the flooding down streets and the strong winds and places being really decimated in spots. Northeast wind coming in at about 10 knots today. We'll look for 2-foot seas and a light chop. And the official Suncoast forecast showing warm, basically dry, but getting a little bit more moisture around here Saturday. And then on Sunday, we start to dry out a little bit as Maria skirts the coast of Florida. Back to you.
Thank you, John. University of California researchers have a medical device they're working on that could save money and also save lives. It's called Tabla. It works as a handheld pneumonia detector. Pneumonia is the #1 killer in children worldwide. It is diagnosed with a chest x-ray, which is hard to come by in third world countries. But this machine uses a different technique.
The percussion technique was actually inspired 300 years ago by tapping on wine barrels to check for fluid levels.
Now, this device uses statistics to compare the person it's diagnosing to a healthy patient. Then an app creates a graph to show the likelihood of the patient having pneumonia. Tabla is still in the development stages. President Trump's daughter Ivanka says she has suffered from postpartum depression, not once, but after the birth of each of her 3 children.
With each of my 3 children, I had some level of postpartum, and it was depression.
The 35-year-old mother of 3 opening up for the first time about experiencing postpartum depression on an upcoming episode of The Dr. Oz Show.
It was a very challenging emotional time for me because I felt like I was not living up to my potential as a parent or as an entrepreneur and as an executive. And I had had such easy pregnancies that in some way the juxtaposition hit me even harder.
Trump's role as an unpaid senior advisor in the White House has come under scrutiny, and she spoke to me in 2015 about the challenges all new moms face.
We want to be mothers, we want to be sisters. The goal is to change this narrative and to be a part of it.
Experiencing postpartum can make going back to work even harder. And with as many as 1 in 7 women suffering from it, Trump says it's time to take her private struggle into the public sphere.
It's incredibly important. And look, I consider myself a very hard-charging person. I am ambitious, I'm passionate, I'm driven, but this is something that affects parents all over the country.
Still to come, a list of the top-selling sneakers and which ones are now dated. And why would a dress cost over $100,000? We'll tell you after this.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Attention Sarasota and surrounding cities. After 25 years in Sarasota, Bacon's Furniture and Design will be moving to create Southwest Florida's largest and most dynamic furniture store. We must liquidate everything in the store at huge savings as fast as possible. Do not miss this opportunity to purchase quality sofas, bedrooms, dining rooms, patio furniture, mattresses, and more. All at the absolute lowest prices possible. The Bacon's Furniture and Design relocation sell-off. Nobody beats Bacon's.
It's Willamania at the Players Center as the Will Rogers Follies takes the stage September 27th. Part homespun humor and part Ziegfeld Follies, this toe-tapping Tony Award musical is the start of our wild Broadway series. So call the Players at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. You need to catch Willamania.
Get the lowest prices of the year during the Ram Power Days event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Don't just settle for what's available at a smaller lot.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $10 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand, with no surprises, and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received J.D. Power Awards for highest customer service. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
As Hurricane Irma tore through the Suncoast, ABC7 First Alert Weather was here for you, tracking Hurricane Irma on the all-new ABC7 First Alert Weather app and sending push alert updates on the storm, providing life-saving tips and non-stop coverage on air, online, and on all your digital devices. Plus, we answered thousands of your questions during our Hurricane Helpline. We kept you informed every step of the way. ABC7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you when you need us most.
The ABC7 First Alert Hurricane Guide. Download yours today.
And here we are, back with Chef Paulo from Gabbiano. Thank you so much for preparing your beautiful veal saltimbocca. It's a pleasure for me, and I love that you stay with Designing Daughters for this great event that's happening next Thursday. Information on our website as well as Designing Daughters. Oh my goodness. The veal is so tender with the prosciutto. Now remember, you can log on to www.mysuncoast.com, click on recipes, videos, you're going to see them, and don't forget to enter our contest to win a $50 gift card to one of our local restaurant partners. Chef, is always a pleasure, and we appreciate you supporting these great charities.
Yes.
And I will send it back to the desk. Guys, got to tell you, it's a great lunch.
It smells great, I believe you. Thank you, Judy and Paulo. Back in 1954, Audrey Hepburn dazzled in the movie Sabrina, and now that iconic dress from that classic is now up for auction. It is a highlight of the personal property auction of Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds. Reynolds collected memorabilia from Hollywood, so a Hollywood auctioning company found the dress forgotten in a trunk. It's expected to draw $120,000 when it goes on the auction block on October the 8th. If you're searching online for news about Avril Lavigne, be careful. The singer-songwriter tops this year's most dangerous celebrities list. Cybersecurity firm McAfee compiles the report each year showing which stars generate the riskiest search results as cyber criminals use fans' fascinations with celebrities to steer them to websites with malware. Adidas has jumped over Michael Jordan's Nike brand as the second best seller of footwear in this country. Jordan's shoes are tracked separately from Nike, which is still ranked #1. But the fading popularity of Air Jordans, a brand that launched in the 1980s, is a telling sign that Adidas is gaining traction. And I was overseas last week in Italy, and Adidas are everywhere over there. Very European sneaker.
Very interesting.
Adidas.
Yeah.
Are they still trading jeans for gold bars?
I don't know.
Remember that
I
for a
remember
while?
that
was the
time,
big
yeah.
thing. Yeah, Levi's was all the rage. Yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool.
Michael Jordan sneakers are finally fading 30 years later.
I know, he did. He had a good run, but John, you know, October 8th is my birthday, and I thought you might be so kind to buy me that gown from
you like
Debbie
that?
Reynolds. I thought, just thinking maybe there was a storm coverage bonus.
Out of time, see you at 5.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKX Sport Utility for $349 per month, or Lincoln's flagship, the 2017 Continental, for $449 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.